Hello, my name is Brian Washington. I will be presenting today my persuasive speech for Western Carolina University for my Communications 201 class. My professor is Michael Cordell. The subject of this speech will be simply married life versus single life and the differences between the two. So, you look at these fellas up here on the board. They look like they're enjoying life. Single, partying, having fun, meeting ladies, doing what they want to do. So one thing you have to ask yourself when you're considering being married versus single is, why would I give this up? Why would I give up the high life? Why would I give up meeting different people and doing different things and doing what you want to do without a concern of, let's say, answering to someone else or being concerned about someone else's needs and wants? Well, why would you give that up? I move that marriage life is far more beneficial to single life. And I'm going to present to you guys multiple reasons why you should probably pursue a more married lifestyle as opposed to a single lifestyle. And I will begin with companionship. When it comes to companionship and being married, when you're married, that guarantees someone is going to be there for you. Probably far more in the long-term look at things than when you're single. When you're single, you may have a partner during good times, but during bad times or the down times, it's kind of hard to keep someone around and keep them interested in a relationship when they don't have anything binding. I like to refer to that as the difference between having a life partner and a night partner. In an article written by Chris Jackson, he speaks of companionship, but speaks of just the difference between what it's like being married as opposed to being single when it comes to companionship. And the article reads, another benefit of marriage, which is actually a byproduct of oneness, is love and companionship. It is a blessing to be around someone who helps you to see better and to be better. The level of companionship allows for each mate to speak clear truth into the life of the other. Even when foul truth hurts, the pathway of life is so much better when you're walking and talking with the one you love. So, once again, when you talk about that level of companionship that's offered in marriage, it's really no comparison when comparing that to the passing romances of being single. Next is financial stability. Give me 1 second. Okay. When you're talking financial stability, of course, everyone thinks 2 incomes are better than 1. And that is a natural concept of being married. You're financially joined, you have double the income to endeavor into buying homes, buying cars, obtaining loans, and things of that nature. But there are also subtle differences between being married and being single that you may not necessarily know, such as tax brackets. Let's say on this slide, as it shows, 2 people, you can be single, make the same amount of money as a family makes. But when you look at the paperwork and the differences between the taxation rates, especially here in America, the taxes, in this case, this individual paid almost $5,000 more a year in taxes just for being single, and he may actually be in a relationship, still be supporting the family, but the fact that he's not married is putting himself at a financial disadvantage. And also, there are also other things related to income, such as insurance and buying power, and just like I say, the ability to obtain loans, which make being married far more advantageous as opposed to being single. And then there's reason number 3, which may probably be the biggest reason for being married, which is family and lifespan. First, beginning with the simple aspect of lifespan. Everyone, through many studies, it's been proven that your lifespan is actually longer for being married. No one actually knows the scientific reason for that, Many people assume that it's being married, you're probably insured, which kind of gives you better access to health care. Other people move that this longer lifespan is just simply due to the level of happiness that can come from being married. While there are stresses in being married, there's also the less stress of knowing that you have someone there to lean on in a financial situations, when family disasters happen, such as death or injury. That alleviation of stress is one of the reasons that they move, that people may simply have longer lifespans. And then you have the priceless value of family structure. In the article, Family Structure and Child Well-Being, it's discussed how family structure is beneficial not just to the woman, but also to the men and the children that are brought about in this relationship. It's written in this article that cohabitation, which is when you're doing your typical relationship thing, and maybe you're staying here and there, you may be spending nights, but you're not fully committed to each other. Cohabitation is a low trust, stressful, and more prone to violence and breakups. And everyone has probably experienced where you're in the neighborhood and on Saturday night, it's kind of the same thing going on, where you start hearing the records down the street, someone's kicking in somebody's door, somebody's breaking out the glass maybe, or they're just fussing in general. And most of those relationships, those more volatile relationships that have those sorts of ups and downs, are usually around people who are dating more casually, not being totally committed to each other. And then there's an aspect of childcare, which is probably maybe the biggest point of trying to maintain a family structure. Of course, everyone knows that you can simply have children without being married. That's true. You can be a father from afar. That is true. But scientific studies show that children coming from homes with both parents are often far better behaved. And we know this when we go to the mall. It's a big difference when there's only one person that child has to answer to as opposed to two, whether they're paying good parent, bad parent, whatever's going on in that matter. There's also increased mental health. Believe it or not, when they're stressed with you, they're stressed with your kids. Whether that is financial stress, family stress, relationship stress, your children feel that. In a more stable environment, your children are simply going to be more stable, more level-headed, and able to adapt to situations better. So there's an increase in mental health stability in that. And then your children, coming from a married household, are far more likely to have a better financial stability. Whether it's been they were able to be provided the education needed and had the resources needed to move further along with their education, or simply the stability that came gave them the simple encouragement and to face challenges. I know a lot of times at home myself, my baby girl comes home with homework, with both parents there. If my wife is busy, I can take care of that load sometimes. But luckily for me, my wife is usually there, and she usually takes care of the educational process. Children coming from married families also have better decision-making abilities. They've seen two people work together. They've seen people negotiate through ups and downs. And they've seen people hopefully make good decisions if they're married and in a stable household. That is something that's learned. It's not in your DNA to do that. Your kids have to learn how to make these changes amongst themselves. And children are also better at mastering challenges. And that's probably due from my experience, and according to the article Disadvantages of Not Being Married, they are able to master these challenges due to the fact that someone is there to encourage them when they have a low moment. I know a lot of times people can come, your kids can have all sorts of challenges, whether it's bullying or going to school, getting their shoes picked on, stuff like that. When you're there to pick them up and explain, both parents able to explain what's going on, as opposed to with a single parent household, sometimes there's just no one there when they get home, or no one there who's there to give them that emotional support that they need at that time. So in conclusion, married life is far superior to single life. You have better companionship, more career and financial stability, you have a longer lifespan, and in general, marriage just creates a better family life for men, women, and all the children involved. Thank you very much, God, and thank you for listening to my presentation.